Hello, welcome to iFocus tutorials. Now in this video I am going to continue the last video, that is list in Python. In the previous video I had explained how we can create a list, how we can add elements in the list, how we can access the elements in the list, and so on. Now in this video I am going to consider the different functions that we can perform for a list. Now the most important function that we use for list is the range function. Now to use the range function, if I say a range of 4, so this range function provides the starting index as 0 and the ending index as the parameter that we have provided. But when we want to use this range function, the starting will be 0 only, but the ending will be 1 less than the parameter that we have provided. So it will go till 3. Now I will create a list and show you how we can differentiate the length function and the range function, because there is a confusion between the length function and the range function. So first of all I am creating a list by the name fruit, and I am going to add the elements as let's say first is my mango, second element is some number, then third element again I am taking a fruit name, fourth element I am taking some decimal value, and last element I am taking again a fruit name, that is let's say banana. Now if I print my list, I am getting all the elements that I have added. Now I will use the length function first. So if I say len of fruit, so what it should give me, it should list the number of elements in it. So total number of elements I should get at the output. So if you observe here, I am getting a 5, means it is counting the number of elements in my list. Now if I use the range function directly, means range of fruits, so it is giving me an error. Then how we can use this range function is, we can use this range function in the form of length function. So if I use it like this, then it will give me the proper answer that my starting index is 0 and it is going to 5. But when we are going to use this list, the last index will be taken as 4 only. Next important thing that we can use for list is that we can create a new list by adding two existing lists together. So now I will consider some another list, let's say numbers, and I am taking multiple numbers in it. So this is my list. If I print it, I will get the numbers in it. Now what I am going to do, I am going to add my two lists, that is the number list and the fruit list that I have created previously. So I am creating my new list by the name add, and what I am going to do, I am going to add both these lists. So number plus fruit. So if you observe the output here, first my number has been created, means all the elements in the number list has been listed here, and then the fruit list has been listed here. If I add it in the reverse order, so fruit plus number, then it will give me another answer. So first my fruit element, the list in the fruit elements have been listed, and then the list of number element has been listed here. Now if you want to check the type of any variable in Python, then how you can do it, you can use the type function, and you can place your variable name. Right now my fruit is a list, so let's check the output. So it is showing me that a fruit that I have created is nothing but a list in my Python. Now you must be thinking that how I should remember all these function names. Then it is not necessary to remember all these functions. You can directly use dir function and list your element here, means what functions I can perform for this fruit. So it will give me, if you scroll the cursor here, then at the end it has given me different options here, like append, clear, copy, count. All these are the functions that I can perform with my list. So similar way you can do for any of your lists that you have created. Next is how I can check whether my any element is present in my list. Then this is nothing but a logical operation which returns true or false. So how I can check is, I have my element that is a list as a fruit, and it it contains a mango, 100, orange and all these elements. So now let's check if 50 is in a list fruit. So 50 in fruit. So what I am searching is 50 is my element which I am searching in my fruit list. So it will give me a false. Why? Because 50 is not present in my fruit list. Now if I check let's say mango in fruit. Sorry, it is a fruit, so it is giving me a true. Why? Because a mango element is present in my fruit list. Similarly, if I check 6 in my second list, that is number, so it is giving me a true. Why? Because 6 element is present in my number list. Similarly, if I check 10 in num, then it will give me a false. Why? Because 10 element is not present in my number list. So if you observe here, whatever string name that I am providing, I have to provide it in inverted commas, whereas integer I can provide it directly here. Now what if I have to add any element in my list? Then is it possible in Python? Then the answer is yes, you can add your elements in the list. Now what happens here is your entire list will remain as it is, and whatever element that you have provided will be added at the end of the list. So I'll show you how we can do it. So what I am going to do, I am going to add an element in my fruit list. So fruit dot append, and what I am going to add is, let's say, number 100. So now if you display your list, if you observe here, my list was till banana only. Now this 100 element has been added in my list. Again, if I use some append function and let's say I add some string here, let's say pineapple. So if I display my function here, that is my list here, I'll get pineapple at the end. So if you observe here, my previous list remains as it is, and the element that I have provided will be added at the end. To get the information about the tutorials, press the subscribe button and click on the bell icon to get the notification. Now if I want to count how many times an element has been present in my list, so how I can do it? I can do it by using the count function. So count, and I am counting 100 right now because it is present 2 times in my list. So it is giving me 2. Why? Because 100 is present at this position also, and 100 is present at this position also. Now if I use the element function again and I say pineapple, then it will give me a single one. Why? Because pineapple is present at a single time only in my list. Now what if I want to remove any element from my list? Then I can use the function as remove. So remove, and in bracket let's say I am deleting 100. So 100 element has been removed. Now if you print here, which 100 element has been removed? The one which is coming first has been removed here. Now keep in mind that whichever element that you will remove, it will remove from left to right order. If I say again this function, and if I print my list here, again my 100 element which was before pineapple, it has been removed. So in this way you can remove your elements from your list also. Now what if I want to print my list in the reverse order? So I can do it directly by using the reverse function. And if you display the list here, again my elements have been listed in the reverse order. So pineapple has been listed first, and mango, which was my first element, has been listed at the last here. Now when we say that we can reverse a list, then is it possible for us to sort a list? Then it is possible, but every time when we want to sort the list, it should be of completely either integers or it should be completely of strings. So if you try sorting on this list, it will give me an error. So if you observe here, this sorting is not possible in Python. So what I'll do is I'll try and create another list of numbers, and I'm giving random numbers. So let's say these are my numbers, and now I want to sort this list. So what I will do is number dot sort. So now if you observe my list, it has been sorted. So whatever the elements that are listed have been sorted in the ascending order. Now we can perform the sorting on strings also. So first of all, we must create a list which is of strings. So I am creating a list by the name A, and it has elements like, let's say, hello. Second element is let's say a banana. Third is let's say apple. Fourth is let's say it is a high. Okay, now what I will do is I will sort it. Now if you print A, you can observe here the sorting is starting from apple. So A come first. Now the second term is banana, because after A, B comes. Now H and H, it is common, but the second alphabet from this string is E, which comes first than I. So it has been sorted properly in the ascending order. One thing to note is that when we sort any list, the entire list has been updated. Now the previous list, which was hello, banana, apple and high, it has been replaced by this new list. So if I print my list again, you will every time get the sorted list only. You will not get your previous list anywhere. Now if you want to find out the sum of any list, then how we can create is, we can use the sum function, and we can directly calculate the addition of my list. So I am using the sum function for my list, that is name is num. So I am using it num, and if you observe here, these elements, which was 1, 3, 34, 56 and 200, have been added together, and I get an answer as 294. Now if I want to calculate the average of these elements, then how I can do is, I can use the sum function. So it will calculate my sum, and then I will divide it by my len function, that is it will give me the length. So the total number divided by the number of elements will give me the average of it. So if you observe here, my answer is 58.8. So in this way we can apply various functions for a list.